Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to do this real quickly because I have to soon rush off to a interview, hoping to get a better job than what I got now. But just have to make an update on things in order to be fair. If you look under my original video, the first original video, if you're looking at my original video, you go all the way back to my first one. If you look under the first video I do where I address Crazy 316's interpretation of marriage in the Bible and stuff, you'll see that he recently commented there again about me being blocked on his channel. According to him, it was accidental, and he's unblocked me. He's also stated that he is apologizing for the harsh tone that he used towards me in his videos, and that he wants to do a new one where he's going to address the points I bring up more thoroughly. And he invites me to respond to them. Now, I accept his apology, and I will take his word for it that I was accidentally blocked. You guys interpret it how you want, but I don't want to listen. I thought this was already over. After I made my last video towards him, that was that, and I was just like, I'm going on to something else, which is why my next video was it was pretty much a completely different topic. I wasn't even talking about marriage, I wasn't even talking about religion, I was mostly just talking about the concept of a soul, and I was going to just go on from there and just put the religious stuff on the side. But now he says he wants to, do another video addressing my points further, showing why I got it wrong, and he wants me to watch it and respond. The question is, should I respond? Because I don't want to push this any further than it already has. And to be quite honest, I feel like I've already stated what I've had to state. There really is. And by the way, Ben Walker's, I agree with you that's one of the reasons when you posted up before that you just saw me butting heads with him. I agreed, and to be honest, the only reason why I put up those videos in the first place was not to change his mind or start a fight, but more to show just how wrong he was with those statements trying to say that men and women are equal, because they're not in the Bible. And I don't care how many verses you're going to try to throw at me at it, there's too many of the verses and stories which prove otherwise. And that's all I was trying to do, just showing you guys the videos are more for you than crazy. Like, look, this is what's actually there. And if you don't believe me, look it up yourself, which is why I told you what books to look up, what verses to look at, and how to go about looking it up if you don't have a Bible of your own. And that's why I also kept saying, don't take my word for it, go on and read it. And that's why I also made sure to read the verses all the way out and put the annotations up so you guys can see for yourselves. I'm not trying to preach to you, I'm trying to give you information and have you verify it. So, here's the problem. One, I don't want to escalate this further, because I don't want to make it look like we're going to keep butting heads and arguing and fighting over this topic when I think that this topic is done. Look, and this is going to sound incredibly funny to you guys, what I'm about to say. No offense to you, crazy, but I think it's done. I'm pretty sure I know what points you're going to try to bring up. I am pretty certain, I'm sure that you're going to be explaining further what it means by cherishing your wife. You're going to explain further how a man is supposed to treat a woman better than himself. And you're probably going to be going into deep verses showing how they keep saying men and women are supposed to share the same body, and you can't have one without the other, and that's how God created them, and so on and so forth, and he sees them equal. I'm sure that's the angle you're going to be going in, and you're going to be using verses to support that. The problem is, in many of the same chapters, in the same books, and even the same chapters of the places you're going to be lifting these verses from, you see other verses which strictly state men are supposed to be above women, and that's supposedly the natural way of things. I'm repeating myself right now by saying that. This is why I don't want to put out another video on this, because I'm going to be repeating myself. It's a weird conundrum I find myself in. Because on one hand, I guess the reason why he wanted, he's trying to be gracious because he says, I'm a man of God. Maybe his conscience was bothering him since he's a Christian. I don't know. So I'll leave it up to you guys. He puts up another video further explaining his points, and he wants me to respond. Should I bother? Yes or no? Because I will tell you this much though. If I see this next video and nothing in there really goes against what I said in my other 3, I won't bother. I'll probably make a quick video saying, going, look, just go to the other 3. The answers are right there. If he puts up another, but if his points go a little bit further, a little bit deeper to an aspect that you guys might be confused in, or it might go into a different direction than what the other stuff is, then I might respond. But again, that depends if you guys think it's worth it. I don't know if it is. But I will say this much though. No matter what, if I do decide to respond, it's only going to be one response. I might end up talking a mile, depending on what it is, I might talk a mile a minute, and I might end up having to put it into parts. But it's going to be one response, and that's it. If I do a response, and if you guys think it's worth me doing this. Because I know some of you guys are like, why are you wasting your time? And, you know, while I'll admit, most of the time I just put up videos no matter what you guys may think, at the same time I understand that you guys want me to go into other topics that are known for what I'm talking about. And I do like the back and forth we have, and I can't have a back and forth if I'm bringing up a topic that you guys don't want to talk about. See what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, and if you're watching this, again, I'm putting this up before you put your video up. I don't know if your video might already be up as I'm recording this. I don't know. And I'm going to leave as soon as this uploads. As soon as I hit the upload button and I see it's uploading, I'm walking out the door because I got places to be. But I will say this, Crazy, and I hope this gets to you before you upload your video. It's something that I've already said to some of the guys who like your stuff came over and were trying to shove down my throat, and they don't seem to understand. There is only one way that you can possibly get me to go, I didn't see that. I was wrong. Okay. There's only one way you can get me to do that. You need to present evidence that either Paul, Peter, because one of those verses about how women should be treated was also Peter, or some other higher authority after those letters were written, then state, no, women are not to be subservient to men. They don't have to have restrictions on them and how they prophesy in public. I know you kept bringing up the term in public. Yeah, fine, they can prophesy in public while in church they're supposed to remain silent and men can still speak. That's something that I know you never seem to address. But notice even in public, they still have restrictions on them, on their whole head covering thing. Men don't seem to have that problem. Why is this restriction on women? Again, there's so many things that women have to do that men don't have to do. And Paul specifically states, you got God over man, and then you have man over woman. That right there denotes an inequality. Unless you're trying to tell me that, oh, even though it says man over woman, that's just supposed to be roles. So does that mean that when Paul was bringing up that thing about God over man, or they're still equal, it's just different roles? I doubt you're going to say yes to that. So until you can come up with some type of verse that either Paul stated later on reneging that, or Jesus says, oh, that's garbage, men and women are equal. If you can find a verse where they actually say, point blank say, men and women are equal, the men do not lead the women around, women can lead men if they want, I'll relent. Examples of women prophesizing in the Old Testament won't work, especially since you're telling me, you were jumping on me saying you're bringing up old shit, you bring up the Old Testament, when I never did. None of the stuff I put up was about the Old Testament. None of it. So if you're going to be stopping me from using the Old Testament and even accusing me of using the Old Testament when I never even did, then you coming up with examples from the Old Testament just won't fly. And besides, let's be honest, if we're going to be using the Old Testament, you know I got tons more examples of inequality there than you do about equality. So that's not going to work. Bringing up things like Deborah, she was a prophet. Yeah, so what? There were 5 women prophets? How many more men prophets were there? If men and women are on equal planes, I should see a more proportionate set of numbers between the two. This is logic. Coming up with showing me verses about men are supposed to cherish women won't fly. You might think that it should fly, but it shouldn't, because you can cherish anything that's in a lower rank than you. If I have to make a response to you, if I do a response to you, I will go into that further, but really, that should be enough to get somebody thinking. You can cherish anything that's in a lower position to you. It doesn't make you equal. So, any verses showing that, oh, they're commanded to love their wives is not negating the fact that they're still in a lower position. Bringing up women being able to prophesy still doesn't fly, because we've seen very few women actually do that because culture is holding them back. The religious culture is holding them back. And again, I ask this one simple question. If women are in equal planes to men and can easily testify, where are the female priests? Where are they? Where are the female reverends? I can only think of one Christian sect that has females being able to do this, and they're being frowned upon by the rest of the Christian community. So, you see what I mean? So, yeah. I've given you your stipulations. This is what you're going to have to try to do in order to prove your argument. If you can't do that, you're wasting your time. I'm saying this as politely as I can. I'm just saying it man to man, logically. Think first before you put this stuff up. And to anyone else, just if you think I should respond or shouldn't respond, let me know in the comment section. I gotta go.